Welcome, everyone. This is Piney Funerals, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Adwin.
Hi.
Arendis.
Hey, everybody.
And Sanswinda.
Hello.
Hello. We've got the crew here this week.
Ooh.
So, yay! Let's then head into our news, and we will begin with the Beacon, where we have a mammoth.
Ooh.
Not quite an elephant, but close.
You know, if they'd let us ride it, I'd be a little bit more excited about it. But it's pretty cool.
Oh, you want mammoth rides.
Well, I really want oliphant rides, actually, but...
You could petition maybe that they add them when we head down into Harad, or...
That would be really cool.
Let's go into the community spotlight, where Onye has posted a video documenting their legendary server adventures. And if you missed Winterstock 4 this year, you could check it out by watching the videos. They have a link to all the videos there. And Jong Wild and Free has started streaming LOTRO. You could check it out, the first episode. Fibro Jedi has posted a new LOTRO fan fiction. And you could read The Futility of War. And Louis 7 has created a LOTRO trait guide, Guardian Redline build. And of course, a link provided in the beacon. So here's our Kin Hall for the week. Late for 11s. This is a small community of Hobbit role players, crafters, and all-around friendly folk that call Laurelin home. They welcome fellow Hobbit lads and lasses of all levels and classes. Anyone interested may contact Webello or Wilfrost in-game. So here's our weekly comment. Have you been to Moria yet? And tell us about your experience.
Currently stuck.
I fell into every ditch and hole and crevice. And I got a title for it.
I got the t-shirt a couple of times.
And
Yeah.
I'm currently stuck.
You're currently stuck.
You have my sympathies. I've been there too.
Yeah.
Terry's first run, I felt very stuck.
I felt very stuck with Sans's first run. Though
It's
I learned how
hard
to
not to
navigate
feel
by jumping
stuck.
down a well. I can get almost anywhere after jumping down the well. Before jumping down the well, maybe.
Yeah, I know my way around a little better than that because I don't believe in travel by dying.
Oh, but
Sometimes you don't die. That makes it more difficult.
oh, Sans. Yeah, Sans seems to have has adopted the Suicide Express as the means to get around.
You know, when you're not on a hunter, sometimes it's the most efficient way to get somewhere near a stable.
That's really terrible.
Sometimes it is not.
The only thing with that is you have to be careful asking Sans for directions. So how do I get to XYZ place? Oh, well, you just launch yourself off of the nearest cliff. And after you rest...
Yes. First you charge off the cliff next to you.
And then if you angle
Then you click retreat now.
So make sure you don't jump on the cliff that's on the opposite side, because then you'll be sent to the res circle completely on the opposite side, and you'll...
Right.
Oh, yes.
I know how to get around some places, but...
And this is why we never ask Sans for directions.
Yeah.
Well, you can get to half of Moria pretty easily from the waterworks, and the easiest way to get to the waterworks is down the well.
But so much of that isn't even swift travel.
That's true. There are a lot of places in Moria you can't get to easily by swift travel, though.
Maybe someday.
Or we could have Warsteed goats.
No. No. They are not doing war goats.
Stop! That's a clip! Oh, I teleported again. That's not the red circle I was aiming for, man.
Yes, I've obviously been through Moria quite a number of times. And in my case, I do remember getting lost a lot, and of course they changed it around a couple of times. I believe that before they did the revamp a couple of years back, I don't believe I ever was able to run from Durance Threshold to the first camp you get. Oh, I forgot the name of that camp now. Anyway. So I was never able to run from between the first two camps before. I think now I am able to do it, though. I still
Great
prefer
delving?
this. Yes, the deep delving, or the great delving, or whatever it's called. So, yeah, that sort of takes... I remember I couldn't do that in the original version. I think it was... If you think it's convoluted now, it really was convoluted.
That run past the goblin camp?
Yeah, and all that fun stuff.
The Goblin Camp and the Palace of Nine.
Right. Yes, and all that. I forgot what you had to do back in the original version and all that stuff, but I don't have good memories of that. And of course, I don't have good memories of the original version of Drums of the Deep. I think I only did that series of instances once before they changed it into skirmishes. And they were up. And those instances, they were 6-player instances, so of course, finding a group of 6 in order to do them was really painful. Let's now head into the fan site news and welcome the newest member to LOTRO's stream, and you'll watch Army of One with Spirit of Fire. And we also have videos for Ogre Epic's Adventures on Crick Hollow, Easily Lost with Mavigan Pants, Looking for Doors in Mordor, and you can listen to LOTRO Players News 289. Yes, that was our last week. That was the epic long update 23 review. Yes. Midnight Madness with The Grey Wardens, Awfully Good Company with Mushwi, and part 153 of Gamelio Dan's Let's Play series. Zozok does some legendary leveling, and Eklinar in episode 131, Plan in Motion. And for our screenshot of the week, Chromite is showing off a goat in a very cold place.
I love that screenshot.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And I'm trying to figure out whether the name of his character, does he pronounce it as Schrade or Scrade? And it makes me wonder, okay, if it's Schrade, then is it a play on charade, and Scrade, then it sounds like a skirmish raid.
I don't remember, but I think it's actually a different sound to the A. I don't think it's the long A.
Oh, right. Oh, really? Not the English, okay. Scrade?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
I just know that it's not either of those first two that you said.
Okay.
That much I know.
Okay, so it's not pronounced like it would be in English then.
Right.
Then that is it for the beacon, and now I'm going to discuss the upcoming events. The Sandstone maintains an upcoming events calendar, and I thought that maybe we could talk about what is coming up instead of talking about the events when they're halfway through them, which is the times
Like
that we
the one
mentioned.
that's on now?
Yes, I put the first one on there because it is the one that's on now, and that's the plus 25 XP weekend.
Which counts on a Nor, too.
Yeah, which is counting on the Nor right now because they're getting their slowly getting to the release of Moria there, which I would presume is going to be done sometime in I'd say somewhere between the 5th and 15th of February is if I took a stab at guessing when it's going to be, but of course, things can change and there has been no official word on that yet. But that's about my March 5th through 15th if I said anything else there. Now, we have two other things coming up, and that is from January 31st to February 3rd, we have Hobnanigans, which I'm sure has a lot of people excited, none of whom are here probably.
It's always fun to say Hobnanigans is here.
Yes, which is what some people have been saying whenever they level because whenever Hobnanigans was on, every time you level, it would present you with this Hobnanigans is here quest text. Of course, that was before we all started to filter it out so that we
Well, they changed it too, so it wasn't popping up every time you leveled.
Yeah, they did make it a little bit less annoying also in that regards.
I mean, there was a time where you could easily gather like 20 of those Hobnanigans maps on a weekend. And it's not as obnoxious now. It pops up once per character, and if you accept it and finish it out to get the map, it doesn't keep popping up. Because it would like keep popping up. Like you could accept it and accept it, get your map, and then your next level up here. Hobnanigans is here. Didn't we just go through this? Okay. Yeah,
it's still here.
They changed that a while back, actually, so it wasn't still doing that. But it was just fun to say Hobnanigans is here instead of, hey, I got another level.
Right. Then, for February 7th through March 12th, they have this rather cryptic thing that they wrote down called Skirmish Event. And I'm wondering, what in the world do they mean by Skirmish Event? And while some people are saying, oh, it's probably a typo, they probably meant February 7th through February 12th instead of March 12th, and that they mean a 25% mark bonus. The only problem is that the same calendar still has the previous skirmish bonus on there, and it just says plus 25% marks weekend. They didn't call it anything special. So the fact that they seem to be giving it a full month here, assuming it's not a typo, and the fact that they went out of their way to call it something else makes me wonder, what could possibly be this skirmish event? Anyone have any idea?
I don't know, but I bet if you get some kind of reward for doing the most skirmishes, Pine Leaf will definitely be in the running for that.
I agree. I think it's interesting. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was just saying, I think it's interesting to your point, Pine Leaf. They just called it skirmish event, which is incredibly vague. I mean, if it was,
and you should note, it does say, like at the top of the schedule, please note that events and their start and stop times can change. So the fact that it currently says skirmish event for a month might change.
Well, yes.
But if there is a skirmish event for a month, that could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
What I was thinking of a possibility was that it could be an event to correspond with the last month before the opening of Moria to Honor and Ithel. In that March 12th is right around that time when I'm guessing that that Moria will be popping up for those servers. And if that's the case, that's when they said that they will be opening up skirmishes there. Because they have to have skirmishes open for Moria because we've got those 3 skirmishes you gotta run in order to complete the epic there. So we know that skirmishes will have to open then. So one possibility is that this is a countdown event towards the opening of skirmishes on those 2 servers. Or the second possibility I was thinking of is is it possible that they could be opening up skirmishes on those servers a month before Moria starts? And it's a celebration of them opening
Well, that
up
would
there?
be kind of helpful because if when it opens up, we're all level 50 going into Moria and we get skirmishes, and we've got to level skirmish soldiers up to level 50. That could be a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, that could be a little... I have to think, maybe I need to play my Ithel character some, because on Honor, since I'm going at bingo pace, I know I'm not going to be 50 when Moria opens up, because bingo won't be at 50 yet. So maybe I should level up on Ithel also, so that I can maybe have character at 50 when this happens. We have to see if I got time. But anyway, skirmish event, and if you have any ideas on what it is, maybe you could post a comment on giving your guess on it. But I don't think it's going to be as some people are guessing, that's just a simple plus 25% marks. But we'll see.
Ooh, maybe it'll be plus 100% marks. That would be really cool for a month. And open them on Honor? That would be great. Unlikely, but
well,
great.
if it's open on Honor, and then I would consider that the main part of the event, even if they did tag on a plus 25% on top of it.
Fair.
Let's head into our store sales. Terry Adwin, what's on sale this week?
Nothing really all that good. 20% off stat tomes, regen food, run speed boosts, and attack damage boosts. And the weekly coupon gets you max morale and power scroll ×1 with coupon max morale. Now through January 31st. It's hard to get excited about that stuff because aside from the stat tomes, it all drops out of Hobbit presents and I have piles of it. Piles. Just piles.
For anyone without enough run speed boosts, I suggest you make a hunter or a warden and open Hobbit presents on that character. You'll probably get a lot. At least I have on my hunters and wardens.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I like pocket hunt
anytime,
all the time.
Anytime I open the Hobbit presents on those characters, I get a run speed boost for one of them when I'm opening two. It seems like. It's probably not quite true, but a lot of the time. Which is fun. Because I have a lot of alts and can mail it off.
All right. Yes, there is always that. Now let's head into our site news for this week, and we'll begin with an epic battle reference. Yay!
Yeah. It's hard to get excited about those two.
Yeah, and Squirrel has written an epic battle reference. I presume this is a follow-up to his 99 instances. And he gives reasons why you might not want to do epic battles, or reasons why you want to, or will not want to. Like, they're for everyone. They're not for everyone. Every type or size. Chicken and the egg. Or
Yeah, the chicken and the egg one is the one that always gets me with those, because like, I was finally getting to the point where I was like, epic battles aren't nearly as bad as I thought they were. They're kind of fun. Like, let's do more epic battles. This is great. And then I went into an epic battle on an Aryad character.
And you went, no, these are really as horrible as everybody says they are.
And it was every bit as horrible as I had remembered epic battles being for the longest time. And I was like, what in the... Like, I can't do anything. I can't pick anything up. I can't interact with anything. I'm getting killed like 3 dozen times. I'm just gonna go hide here and hope that the soldiers can finish this. Nope, they didn't finish it. Alrighty, try again. Alright, let's hide over here in the corner and see how long this is gonna take, because I can't do anything.
Yeah. That sounds like epic battles.
But I will say about Squirrel's article, it's good for those of us who haven't really done them, just because it gives you a lot of like quick tips at the bottom that I probably never would have found on my own. If you haven't done them and you're looking for little tips and tricks, or if you have done them and you're just curious, I'd suggest checking out the article.
It says, looking for rewards, Pelagear, Pelagear, Pelagear. And yeah, unfortunately, if you ask me what's my least favorite epic battle, I would, well, actually, no, because Dyke might beat out Pelagear.
Dyke is definitely probably the worst one, but Pelagear comes in at a close second.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it, yes.
And I mean, of the four of us assembled here, I probably like them better than just about everybody, including Sans. And that's not saying a whole lot. I just also happen to have the most experience with them because Terry Adwin actually has both of her trait points from Epic Battles. And yes, I got them both from Epic Battles. I didn't buy them from the store. So I have done a lot of Epic Battles. I've probably done about as many Epic Battles as Pineleaf has done skirmishes. Well, probably not that, probably not that many, but I did lots, and they weren't all solo either, because lots of them you have to do, like, in order to get the extra promotion points, you have to do them in the various group configurations. So I've done like the 3-mans and the 6-mans, and then attempted the raid one, and that did not go well. So I don't recommend it unless you have a group that you can actually talk to, because the raid experience was with LOTRO Players Adventures, so that went about as well. Yeah. That reaction right there tells you exactly how well that went.
Though Epic Battle raiding with Ploy is pretty awesome. Like, the first Epic Battle raid I went in was with Ploy, and like, they knew where they were going, they knew what they were doing, they could give good descriptions of what was going on. I finally understood what was happening in the whole battle. It was amazing. And we got platinums, like, all over the place. And, yeah, it definitely helped Sans get her 2 points, which she now has. But yeah, no, I love the advice here that if you can do it, if you can find somebody to also run the epic battle with you when you're starting out, that is an excellent way to do it, because you really can do pretty much nothing by yourself at first.
That's true. Yeah, my first run of the very first epic battle was somebody ran me through it because they were looking for another person to do it with them, or volunteered to take somebody, or I don't even remember exactly why, but the instruction was, is you can follow me around, but don't talk to that guy at all. I mean, like, it was, you can follow me around and see how stuff is supposed to get set up, but don't try to do anything because you're not going to be able to, and don't talk to that guy. and of course that was Helm's Dyke, so, because the Gondor ones weren't even out yet.
Yeah.
I actually really like the Minas Tirith ones.
Is Pelagear a Minas Tirith one?
No.
No, Pelagear is Pelagear.
I was just checking.
I mean, it's Gondor, but it's not Minas Tirith. It's Pelagear.
Right. That's why I was asking, because it's not really a Helm's Deep one either.
No, it's in a class all by itself.
Okay.
For a good reason.
I'm just making sure I'm following this conversation.
It is the one and only not defensive epic battle, which really makes it in a class all by itself, and yeah, it's a very special one. It's not for the faint of heart.
It defeated my Aryad Mini multiple times, even after she reached 115 and had good gear.
It's best run with 2 people, both of whom know it really well and can do stuff in addition to, like, playing with traps.
Right.
Then let's head into a new series that we have, Catalina's Corner. So it begins, and Terry Adwin, what's this all about?
So, some of you who are regular listeners of the podcast may remember that last week, Cinderina offended my delicate sensibilities by telling me that she doesn't listen to the game music. because we were talking about the soundtrack for Update 23, and I asked, Pine Leaf had asked her a question about it, and she's like, "Oh, I don't listen to game music." And I was, so I challenged her to listen to at least the Update 23 soundtrack, which is on YouTube. So, it's divorced from the game, so you don't have to worry about being in combat and your nerves going crazy because combat music. Because I get that that's a thing. She's not actually the first person that I've heard that from, so I get that that's a thing. And her response was to challenge herself to start listening to all of the music in the game because she realized that there's actually great music in the game. So she has a new minstrel that she had been planning to kind of level up quickly to hang out with Axley and friends, and decided instead that she was going to take it easier on that character and listen to the music and kind of give us her impressions of what different instruments and how the sound basically makes her feel in the game. So this is that. This is the Shire, actually. This is her impressions of the music in the Shire and how it changes based on where you go in the game and, indoors versus outdoors and the different environments. And it's very cool. She sent it to me as a Google Doc and said, "What do you think of this?" And my response to that was, "Here's an author credit. Post that on the site." So that's how that happened, basically.
It was so funny too because I got off work and I came in, and I was doing some other stuff, and then this music starts flowing out of the living room, and I come out, and I'm like, "What's going on? Like, that's not Shire music." And she was listening to the soundtrack behind of Update 23 on YouTube, but was playing in the Shire. And I was like, this is no. What is can you please at least match the music to what I see? This is not working. But yeah, then she she finished listening to that and she turned on the music in game and she was like, "Oh yeah." So it was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be weird hearing one group's music with the.
It was really funny though. I was like, all right. But yeah, then she was listening and then she sent me this too, and I enjoyed reading it, and it's like, "Did you show Terry?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I did. She sent me this. Does this mean I can post it?" I was like, "Yes." So it was pretty fun. And I think she's looking forward to going into some of the other areas and listening as she quests through. So, Cantorlina is running around with a tortoise stone on now to help with this project.
Okay. Then we'll get a music teacher's view of the music in The Lord of the Rings Online. Now, let's into our new player question. And Arendis, what's the question this week?
Well, the question this week is based off of my inventory on my main character being complete because of old gear that I have in my inventory. And I wanted to ask, is it better to have gear that is quote-unquote on level with your character, or is it better to have gear that maybe 1 or 2 levels under but has better stats than the on-level gear? Is that a weird question to ask? Possibly, but it's something that I've always kind of wondered.
It's a good question, actually.
Because
Because I wondered about this for a long time and sometimes still have trouble making the decision.
I know I run into that when I'm going through the Lone Lands right now. And the unfortunate thing where I'm parallel going to the Lone Lands and to the North Downs, and I'm learning that apparently when they upped the level of the Lone Lands, they forgot to up the level of the rewards.
Oh no.
So all the rewards are at least 5 levels below the quest level because they were back from the day when the Lone Lands started at level 15. And so I'm looking carefully at every single stat in there. Okay, is anything increased?
Well, you get landscape drops that are better than what you get.
Oh yeah, the landscape drops
as
are the best
quest
ones
rewards.
because they're at least at level with the mobs.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but the rewards, are awful in that area. But I sometimes do get something where I say, all right, I've got better armor for this, but the stats for this are better. And in fact, you will see that for armor, for example, if you're talking about a class that doesn't get hit too much, if they had a choice between stats and level, if the stats were better with lower level one, oh yeah, they take lower level one every time. There are runekeepers, I gain the impression of, that still run Osgiliath gear because that's the best gear they can find. Because those set bonuses are great.
Don't you outlevel the sets now?
That's the problem. Is I think that they failed to do that. Failed to do that with Osgiliath because they know that people don't like gear that becomes obsolete, but then they see this out. They're trying to see if they can find a new solution to this because both solutions are bad. One of them is having the gear turn into a pumpkin when you level up, and the other one is allowing people to use it, and since raid gear tends to be OP, because the idea there is you went through this very, very difficult content and are going to get rewarded for it. The trouble is that when you raise the level cap,
all your raid gear becomes obsolete, and you went through all of that grind for it.
well, the trouble is it depends on what they do with the level cap, because if it's a short level cap raise or something like this, sometimes that gear is still better than what you get upon initial release.
Well, and sometimes the set bonuses are too.
Yeah, especially set
But-
bonuses are the ones that are the greatest offender in that. Because usually the stats themselves are probably better in the new gear.
So I've stopped getting any set gear, though, because I really hate when I'm leveling up and I'm in the middle of a fight and suddenly I have no armor on because I leveled up. Like, really?
They should have at least maybe had the set bonuses maybe have a cap and not the armor itself.
Right. Like, I would be okay if it, stopped providing the set bonus at this level and didn't just unequip mid-combat, because that is... that is so rude. I'm just wandering around in the middle of this camp fighting all these enemies. Bam, I'm a tree. Bam, I have no armor. Great. Now I'm at the res circle and I didn't even want to port this time. And of course at that point it's usually a res circle in the middle of nowhere near no stable masters.
Oh boy. But anyway, as for your question, your main point of it, is it better to have gear that is on level or gear that is lower level but better stats? That is a question I suspect that a lot of people ask when they get it, because I usually I rarely have exactly perfectly on level gear anyway, so the question's almost moot with me. But there are times when I may use something that's better on the stats if it's something that's not going to be critical for the level thing. For example, if it's a weapon, there are a lot of minstrels out there who probably say, who cares this is an old weapon? I'm going to keep using this, and because this
Who needs an LI?
Right.
Well, and when it's working right, like if you have a low-level purple item and you get an on-level purple item, in theory, the stats are going to be better. And when it works right, it's an easy choice because, like, all the stats are better. But when the stats aren't all better, like, if one of the stats that really helps you is better on the lower item, I often keep it because...
Or sometimes...
Like, I mean, sometimes the on-level item you get, I'm a hunter, sometimes the on-level item you get that is supposedly on-level and medium is will-based. And it's like, well, do I really need to be running around in a will-based armor jacket? No,
I do not.
I don't think I need the extra 10 armor.
And in that
some of those
case, what's this other thing gonna sell for?
Right. I often get the one I can't wear so that it's easier to make the decision to sell it. Like, oh yeah, nope, can't wear that, can't wear that.
Does that answer your question?
It does. It kind of just seems like it depends on the class and the item and almost playstyle. And
Class, item, playstyle, yes, a lot of factors will go into it. If every
And sometimes cosmetic.
And sometimes cosmetic,
depending
yes.
on how equivalent they are.
There is that. But in which case, you're not getting it to wear if you make a choice like
No, I
that.
don't usually trade it out to wear it just because it looks nice, but sometimes I save it just because it looks nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yes, it does answer my question. Thank you.
Then let's head into our week in Lotro. And Arandas, what have you been up to?
Mostly more Bjorning adventures. Sorry, Terry. It's too much fun. I'm having too much fun. This week, they are OP. I don't debate you on that. I'm enjoying the OP right now. I did discover this week that sadly the emotes don't work in bear form, and I was really disappointed. Yeah, I really wanted to see what would happen. Like, can a bear sit down? Can a bear lie down? Can a bear slap?
Can a bear
something?
wave? That would be really funny. Like, what if the motions that you use to, like, attack in the mall that just keeps going? That would be a great wave emotion. Like, emote.
I'll have to test it.
I don't think it works, but it would be great.
Yeah, but so yeah, that was most of my week. Sanswinda, how was yours?
My week was pretty good. On Anor this week with Sanswinda, I reached level 34.
Ooh.
And yeah, sometimes it's really hard to keep going on Anor though because you have to do so many more quests than I'm used to doing in an area to level up. Which probably tells you part of the next two things I was doing. So I went dating in the Trollshaws on Crick Hollow because it's been brought to my attention recently that I have a propensity, a tendency to run from from area to area, chasing orange and red quests and leaving virtues in poor repair. So my Bjorning went dating in the Trollshaws on Crick Hollow. Very patient, well, kind of patiently, mostly patiently, killing all the things. Trying to only kill things that were actually related to the deeds, though, because, I mean, they were only on-level things. Some of them were blue, and it was
Hey.
yeah. I think we finished a deed of exploring.
Yeah, we finished the exploration deed.
I don't think we finished any of the killing. Well, we finished a killing deed too, but none of the advanced deeds. So there's going to be a lot more deeding in the Trollshaws to come. We might as well have started with the Shire, where we could at least finish. But no, we went deeding in the Trollshaws on Crick Hollow, and it was actually kind of fun, but also kind of annoying to be at level 39 and not 40. You know. Just like it's annoying to be at level 40 and not 41, and at 41 and not 42. And on Arkenstone this week, I attended a funeral and then mopped up some orcs that were at least partially the cause of the funeral in Wildermore. And, cleaned up some farms that were in horrible states. And, did a lot of white questing. White level questing.
Oh.
I mean, Wildermore is pretty covered in snow and white, too.
But you've been about level 85-ish stuff then.
Yeah, it was all on level.
I know. It's hard for you to do that.
And I started a deed of picking flowers. Maybe that wasn't this week. That might have been last week. But, just planning to stay in the area a little bit, do some more deeds there while getting the epic going, and it was fun. But I've had a week of working on patience. And not getting patient virtues for it either. But so that was my week. Terry, how was your week?
Well, I also had a light week. Sarissa finished up in Middlemead. And, fun things with conspiracies, and managed to die because this Uruk, whatever, had a pet warg that came out of nowhere and charged like halfway through the battle. And
the orc version of a lore master.
Well, apparently I forgot that I was a burglar at that point and didn't think to riddle the second opponent. I just I don't know where my head was, but it's fine because then I killed him. And so she went back and talked to Eowyn, and then now she's on her way she just made it to Aldburg, and she's also now level 90, which means that other champion is busy farming and cooking for level 90 food thingies for her, because that's what happens when you hit level 90, you need more stuff. And since the only real crafting that I do is the cooking and farming, other champion is hard at work. Financed by the burglar, by the way, because she's rolling in piles of money, and he was next to broke. So she sent him 50 gold to craft her food. Slave work. So finally, how was your week?
All right. I'll begin on Honor, where my warden there reached kindred with the Eglain, which is the people in the Lone Lands.
That's not an easy rep. Of course, if you're doing cooking, it's plenty easy. Onion soups for the win.
Yeah, I did use some onion soups at one point. But then, of course, after going through there, I noticed that even though the early quests weren't awarding rep, once I passed a certain point, the quests were starting to award rep, and once that happened, it came pretty quickly. That plus tasks. Because every day I would log in and turn in some tasks over into the area. And so between the tasks, the quests, and the onion soup, yes, I have reached kindred, and I am done with most of the parts of there. I still have the swamp where the swamp way down in the south, where you go for the epic later on in order to talk to the stone speaker and all that stuff. I still have
Haragmar.
Yeah, Haragmar I have still left to do, and then the GA swamp also is, of course, because that's where you have the later parts of the epic after that. So those two parts still need to go. I did manage to kill enough spiders in order to get enmity of the spiders 3 done, and
wow.
No, two. Sorry, not 2.
I was gonna say spiders.
No, I'm too low
wow.
level. No, I'm too low a level to. That's right to do. No, actually, no, it is. No, it is 2 because 2 opens up at level 29. So as soon as I hit the level 29, I timed it. So as soon as I hit 29, I went and did those spider quests where you're supposed to go against those spiders near Oscaruth and killed lots of spiders there. Then I went into the North Downs and did the spider quests there. So I did as many spider quests as I could that were around my level. Because the idea there was I get that port to Mickle Delving. So I did finish that one also. Then on Friday Night Fight, we ran the Great Barrows. We ran the first 2 runs at level 116. So therefore that was 4 levels below me, but that was, I believe, 2 levels above the lowest level character in the group. And we ran the thing in there, and it sort of shocked everyone when I found that at the end of the instance, the shield that dropped for me was a major upgrade. Now, this is the one that's been running with you guys. So the 116 shield that dropped for me was a major upgrade for me. All right, fine. That was
Does that
weird.
mean you're going to be less of a tasty snack now?
Maybe. Then we ran the second one, because first we ran Thought-Ear, then we ran the maze. Then we were running the maze, ran again, and again a shield dropped for me, except this time it was the cyan version of the shield instead of the purple version of the shield, which meant that this was, once again, a major upgrade.
It was even a bigger upgrade, yeah.
Yes, an even upgrade. So it's the same level shield, but because...
You know, this might become more of a tasty snack, though, because they might all want to snack on the shield, too.
This is true.
But anyway, that significantly improved my character shield stat on there. Then, this relates to both my main wardens, my Crick Hollow and my Landy Warden, where I decided to compare how well they would each do in a couple of skirmishes. So I decided to run Dananglore and Thievery and Mischief on both of them in time, how much time took each of them. I ran them both using tanking stance because I was worried about the Landrifle one surviving the skirmish in reckless mode. So I decided to do this in tanking stance. So I went in there, ran all the way through, and for Dananglore, I managed to do it in under 10 minutes on my Mort. Now remember, this is in tanking stance, so therefore I'm not going rippity-rip as I could do if I were in recklessness mode. So it took me just under...
And did you skip anything?
I did not skip anything. So I went through there, did all the counterattacks, did the encounters and all that. So on Crick Hollow, it took me under 10 minutes, slightly under 10 minutes. And I mean, Terry Adwin, I think she could do it in 5 on her champion or something like that.
Used to be able to do it in 3.
Yeah. What about now?
It's about 5.
Yeah, about 5. Yeah, I figured that after certain...
Well, it depends on the mobs, because if I get the stupid eyeballs, which I usually get the stupid eyeballs, the glowing blobs, it slows me down.
Yeah, they do slow you down.
And I almost always get them now.
Oh, yeah. So it took me just under 10 minutes to do those. Then on the Landy, it took me over 15 minutes. That was a major discrepancy.
How are your virtues on Landy Pine?
Well, obviously you could see from that, not very good. Because that's why I was using the Landy Warden, was going with you on those Saturday night virtue runs. The reason I chose the Landy one was because of how poor the characters' virtues are. And I am going back into various areas trying to... Right now I'm going on cleaning out my quest log. But since I get my quest log all nice and cleared out, then I'm going to work on doing my deeds that I'm missing on there. Just hoping to maybe clear out my deed log also. But first I decided my priority would be my quest log, because last time I was questing with you, I think about 5 or 6 times while we were in Arid Mithrin, I ran into, you are out of... You are out of quest slots. You cannot accept this quest. You cannot accept.
I would like to point out that for once I was not guilty here, though, because we did all of the quests since we started questing together. We have not left areas with lots of unfinished quests because we outleveled them.
Yes, of course, with this group, it's because we pretended to be at level cap and stuff, so it helped.
Well, that's true. I just thought I would point out for the few people who listen who know that I have a habit of creating these full quest logs for those who have been questing with me, that this was not me who created the full quest log. Just clarifying that...
Yeah, one of the quests I had to do with finishing up something that was in Adoras. So I, this week, went over to Adoras, eventually found what quest was missing, and of course, because the quests are gray, it's hard to find a quest giver that you don't know where they're at, because it turned out it was the maid inside Meadowseld's quest that was the quest in question. And trying to find a quest ring on a random maid inside Meadowseld was quite a challenge. So I did that, then that led to a couple of ones, and then that left me finishing up the last couple of Adoras quests. So I managed to finish that and got a trait point to boot.
You know, there's a toggle to turn that stuff on.
Yeah, there is that.
Like show trivial quests or something?
Yeah.
Yes, but I wasn't in the mood to do that.
Fair. And then if you forget to turn it back off and have left places with lots of unfinished quests, they become very,
You have rings all over the place.
Yes.
distracting.
Yes, that's why I decided not to turn it on. Now, the other quest I ran was Thievery and Mischief. And in that one, on Crick Hollow, it took me 13:45 in order to do Thievery and Mischief, which sound fine. You know, Landreval, it took me 17:25, which tells me that the brigands, because I guess they have common, because they're men and of course are more susceptible to common damage than those mobs that you have in Danaglor. It sounds like to me that I am much better at going against non-common damage on my Warren on Crick Hollow. Now, I believe I have Baleriand on Crick Hollow, which is really good against Ancient Evil, and the Marival fall into that category. So it could be that's the reason for that. But I also used to do a lot of light damage though in that skirmish. So, But anyway, the difference was certainly not anywhere as strong as it was in Danaglor. In Thievery Mischief, it was 3.5 minutes longer, while on Danaglor, it was 6 minutes longer on Landreval. I think I'm going to try a few more tests on some other types in order to see what differences are made where when I'm doing it. For example, how long does it take me in tanking stance versus recklessness stances? I would hope I could kill those things faster. We'll see. We currently have 21 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be guests with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. And this week, we have a comment from Bragg. And Terry, what did Bragg say?
Let's see. Bragg says, LOTRO players, as ever, thanks for everything you do. However, I have to ask, you have the Dwarrow Scholar on your show. He reveals he created an entire written Dwarven alphabet variant for SSG. He describes his wonder at finding his language in-game used to paper the walls of the room that holds the Black Book of Mordor. And he even relates that he spent a huge chunk of time translating all of that message for his own personal enjoyment. And nobody asked him to share what it said! Really? Come on, guys! Maybe it's not too late to ask him if he can share the text as an article on the site for those interested who don't mind spoilers. By the way, you can't claim you didn't ask because of potential spoilers because you put a spoiler alert on in the segment already. Cheers to all. Bragg, son of Balin, proprietor of the Light the Beacons podcast, perhaps coming up on episode 100 at some point soon, which it's awesome that he's coming up on episode 100. Also, somebody else commented on the site in response to Bragg's comment, and it's actually on the wiki. It's on LOTRO wiki. There's a translation.
Yes, I looked that up, and this is
It's the Song of the Fargathal.
Yeah, the Song of the
Potential
Fargathal.
spoilers for people.
Yes.
Not really. Because we're not going to read it.
Yeah, we're not going to read it, but the first 4 panels are actually included in one of the Lost Lore books.
Yeah.
That you find up in Ered Mithrin. So it does have 3 additional panels that aren't there, which is a little bit of surprise there that if you want the full story of
That's really cool.
Yes, and on the site it includes that shows translation. It shows the original on the wall, and then shows a transcription underneath of which shows the description and then the English first both in the runes and then in the Englishization for it, and then below that they include the full text in English. Now, the first 4 groups, the first 8 stanzas, we pretty much know what the translation is because, well, they give to us in the Lost Lore book. The other 3, I would presume is, I don't know how perfect the translation is, but it does seem to follow what you would expect from that particular poem in there, so I would presume it's reasonably accurate. But as Terry said, to avoid spoilers, we will not read that. If you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@LotraPlayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, The Players Alliance @PlayersAlliance, LOTRO Players @LOTROPlayers, Arandis @Arandis, Pineleaf @PineleafNeedle, Sandwinda @Sandwinda, and TerryAdwin @TerryAdwin. The Players Alliance has 2 shows each week. On Thursdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And that is all for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Mules reminding you to skirmish responsibly.